Okay, so I'm going to convince you to watch The Expanse, hopefully, and also explain why I think it's an anti oppressive masterpiece as well. And yeah, please watch this TV series because it's gonna make your life better. Hello, my nerdy friends. Or if you're not nerdy, then why not? Um, I'm here to talk to you today about why you should watch The Expanse and why it is a FEMINS. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure the algorithm shadow bans people interested in this, which is messed up. But why it's a FEMINIST masterpiece. Why you should watch The Expanse. Oh my goodness. So, this lighting is really pissing me off, but who cares? Just don't care. Okay, it's fine. Who cares? Fascist beauty standards. The Expanse is based on an amazing series of books. We've got Leviathan Wakes, followed by Caliban's War, Abaddon's Gate, Cibola Burn, Nemesis Games, Babylon's Ashes, Persepolis Rising, Tiamat's Wrath, and ending with Leviathan's Falls plus plus related novellas. Novellas collected in Memories Legion. Okay, I need to read that. That sounds cool. So the pen name is James S.A. Corey. That's for Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank. And I think it's very clever that they wrote it together, firstly, because giving someone else, having two authors, really, I think helps refine work. Obviously your editor would help with that, but I think it's a really great idea. So the books are really, really good, and I would recommend you read those. They are actually based on a game that they played together where I think it's quite similar to Dungeons and Dragons, where you develop your characters thoroughly. And I think some of the best media comes from those kind of games, role-playing games, where you have to develop characters and then you can really flesh out their histories and their stories and their skills and make them really interesting. So I think some of the best media really comes from those kind of games. But also there's amazing spaceship battles and drama and it's just amazing just moral conundrums that I'm oh my goodness, what would I do in this situation? I don't know. And I just loved spaceships and space and such. So to be clear, whenever we talk about FEM, I can't really spell. My dyslexia is can't deal with this. FEMINIST theory and stuff like that. All it means is believing in equality and tackling oppression. So that's all it means. And the reason why there's been such fervent issues with it is because this is attacks the system of inequality and oppression that we live in, and it doesn't like that. So it encourages its populations to really push against theories and perspectives that could dismantle the system. Anyway, this is kind of besides the point. What I'm trying to talk about is how and why I think it is really good at talking about inequality issues and doing so in an amazing, fun way. As in it's sci-fi and it's intelligent and the characters are really diverse and amazing and really gorgeous. Well, not. I mean, I'm allowed to be. Okay, I can fancy people. That's fine. There's just so many gorgeous people in the show as well, and there's polyamory in the show, and racially diverse and culturally it's looking at lots of different levels of oppression within this new world of earthers who are the stuck up posh privileged people, especially in government, and the rest of earth is quite screwed up, but the people in power, and comparatively with the belt, a lot of people are in more positions of privilege, and then you've got the Mars race, I guess, where they are a very militaristic, bullyish culture in terms of I know they definitely bully belters. Yeah. So that culture is very proud and very militaristic and has kind of been developed in opposition to Earth because Earth colonized Mars and then Mars basically pushed them out. The belt work in they do a lot of work on the actual belt, so it means actually on things like asteroids, they'll actually do the hard labor they're basically like working class in terms of the wider solar system. And like the belt have just suffered so much and they've been through like just horrendous times. And like, all kind of things that you can imagine that happen to oppressed groups. Um, and like really terrible things happen to belters just because they're belters, and they've had enough basically, and they start to rebel and fight back, and in lots of different ways. And you're often kind of shown their side of things just because you can understand from a logic perspective like where they're coming from. Yeah, you do start to see their perspective. And yeah, you just want the belt to be liberated. I know that it's been said that sci-fi uses different vehicles to talk about real issues such as racism and transphobia and things like that. So it's been explicitly stated that the Expanse is doing that. So like it is purposefully talking about oppression in these terms. And there are like amazing examples of, like, I'm not going to give loads away because I don't want to do like spoilers, but there are really amazing examples of people in power giving their privileges away purposefully to people who are traditionally undervalued in order to like help and support them, which is a really good example of like white accomplice work, where white people take like lose their privilege or take risks and things that could even damage them in order to like support anti-racist practices, for example. And yeah, I mean, there's just so much more to it, as well as amazing commentary on oppression and how coming together is obviously the answer in fighting against systems of oppression and all the evils it kind of creates. And the main characters are all a kind of big mash of these people who like love each other in all these different ways, and like they're all on the ship together. And yeah, it's just incredible. There's like space, there's like alien technology. There's a few little snippets like, just so you get a little feel. All these bad ASS women. Woo! It's really nice to have like queer representation and themes, and like how what really I really like as well is the actual filming sounded like as nice as you can get in these kind of situations. Like people actually helping each other, being really kind to each other, supportive. Like there was an issue with one of the main characters turning out to be bad, basically, was doing bad behaviors, and they got rid of him. And like a lot of places would have covered that up. Obviously, that's quite a low bar, but like I'm just saying, I was really pleased with how they dealt with that. This is not acceptable. It was what I got from it, which is not. And like listening to the actors and like really going with them, like if they have like ideas, or one of the best characters, drummer, she did so well in the first seasons that they just kind of molded more amazing story around her. And like yeah, it just made this character blossom, and you can just see so much interpersonal relationships, and you just get really bonded with everyone, and it's just amazing. And yeah. Also, for someone who was polyamorous for many years before I met my amazing partner, and was like, yeah, we'll only settle for monogamy for this amazing person because he's that good. But like, I was so grateful that that was shown on TV, because it's so boring just seeing monogamy represented everywhere. And like queer relationships on TV is so nice in conjunction with that, because a lot of the time queer and disabled people do polyamory for various reasons. It is a very legitimate relationship style that I do think more people need to look into, certainly rather that than people cheating on each other, etc. Anyway, so that was amazing as well. It's just so good. I would highly recommend you watch all of it, and it is worthwhile, and it is super interesting. And yeah, Avasarala is also just kick ass. Yeah, she's so good. I love, and it's almost like, even though the main, like one of the main characters is like this white dude who's like really well-meaning, but also it kind of plays on the kind of hero dude a bit, where he's like, he is amazing, he's badass, and he's like cool and great, but sometimes it's just like he means well, but you can tell that he's got like a kind of white savior complex as well, and like it's kind of feels like it's making fun of that a little bit in a good way. But like he's great as well. Aside from that, but I just think, yeah, it's really there are so many strong characters, and I'm just so glad that it exists. And I know I haven't really. There's just so much to it that I could go on about for ages. But watch it; it's great. If you like sci-fi, and even if you don't like sci-fi, just try and get into sci-fi by getting into this. And also, la 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 la. I'm definitely getting a tattoo of something from the Expanse if I ever have the money. Um, yeah, Amos is one of my favorite characters as well. Like, even though he's not explicitly written as autistic, like I actually related to him quite a lot because he seems quite autistic to me in terms of how the character's written because he's just so direct and like honest, but also like confused by social cues. And like, apart from, I'm not obviously, I relate apart from like the murdering part, obviously, but like, yeah, and also like having like quite a troubled upbringing and like that making you struggle with like what's right and like how to interact like with people but also like highly protective of vulnerable people, and he's just the best. Oh my god, he's just amazing and he's really funny and like, yeah, doesn't like bad people, which is what we should, this is what we should do to the rich. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, this is too long. Anyway, love you, bye, watch it. Also, I think in the really literal sense, like the books were created by, as far as I'm aware, two white men who I'm not an expert on their backgrounds, but I know that at least one of them like grew up amongst a lot of marginalized races as well, and I feel like perhaps that allowed him to see from those perspectives more and obviously integrate that into the stories. I feel and not much, I don't know as much about Daniel's background, but I just feel like that informed him as well. Like I feel like a lot of, I grew up in an international school and there was like 60 different nationalities, and I just think that really gave me a good head start on this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I just think in the literal sense, the fact that this is written by people that do have some privileges but have had like a mixed experience as well, like I think that is also symbolic of the whole thing as well. So I just think it's really great that we have authors and producers and people that are willing to make media about this area. The more people that make media on these themes, the better. And I think the more that we use our voices to share these kind of stories, the better as well. So I really applaud them both for doing so because we just need that and it's so important. And I really appreciate it. And you're amazing and you're very talented. And I'm not just kissing your ass because of anything other than it's genuine, like you deserve it. You deserve the praise because it's great. So, and I really appreciate it because it's so rare to find media like this. So I really think you should, and I hope that you feel this, that I just want you to be proud. Okay, bye. Well, we're going to give a little tour of my Expanse Memorabilia. I don't know why I can't talk anymore. Oh, this is the microphone, sorry. I'm going to give you a tour of the Expanse Memorabilia I have. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. One of my favorites. Yeah.